The issue of women and anger is a very confusing one for a lot of men. Yes, I just said anger. I know the title of this video is Women and Anxiety, but when a man sees this woman upset, all he can tell for sure is that she's angry. After all, that's exactly what he sees and hears and feels. Typically, he doesn't think to look past her anger for what might be lurking beneath the surface. Hello, I'm Dr. Debbie, and I've been helping men, women, and couples grow together for more than 25 years. Now it's your turn to learn what I learned and taught as a couples counselor and university professor. You are the wise woman, and this is your personal development podcast packed with instant encouragement and practical tips. And men can learn about women too, because this is a safe place where women are valued and men are respected. We talk about biology, socialization, behavior, emotions, communication, and connection, because men and women are different. Always have been, always will be, and that's a very good thing. Simply put, I'm here to help you make sense of the woman you love. So let's jump right in on today's topic, how women express their anxiety. Most of the time, what looks like intense anger is actually panic. A woman often freaks out when her man freezes up and goes silent. She's probably thinking, "You're not listening to what I'm saying. You don't get how much this means to me. You don't have any respect for me or my feelings. Or you just don't care." She feels like she's drowning and that her man doesn't care that she's drowning. He could be her rescuer if he only knew what was going on, but he doesn't. So he ends up feeling like he's drowning himself, caught up in the swirling intensity of her emotions. That is, he may feel very much like someone who's trying to save a drowning person and ends up being pulled under the water himself by her panic. That's what's really going on in those moments. I know it's next to impossible when you're the victim of a woman's verbal attack to think that she's afraid of something. It wouldn't be any man's first thought. But more than likely, she's not merely angry. When you can recognize her fear and think about finding out why she's afraid, it could be a very, very helpful thought to have. A woman also has a really hard time when her man is angry. And it really doesn't matter if he's angry at her or at something else. Even if he's feeling generally frustrated with life, his behavior can evoke anxiety in her. It's really very, very scary for a woman to be around any angry man. If she's your woman, her immediate thought is, "What's wrong? Did I do something? Why are you so mad at me?" Yes, it could be the other drivers who are frustrating you. Or it could be something at work. Maybe you don't feel well, or whatever. But if it comes across as anger, your woman will still become terrified. And when women are terrified, they come across as angry. And when men are angry, it terrifies women. So we end up with a vicious cycle of anxiety and negative interactions. What's she so afraid of, you might ask? The vast majority of women deal with anxiety on a daily basis. We worry about a lot of things, especially when it comes to men. Here are a few examples that apply to most women. First of all, she worries about her physical safety. Ask her, when was the last time you were afraid for your physical safety? You'll probably be surprised by her answer. More than likely, it was sometime within the last 24 hours. Women constantly scan the environment for danger, especially if they have to be out after dark without you for protection. We look for danger so automatically that we can't imagine that you men don't do the same. We don't realize that you're confident you can protect yourself if you need to do so. However, we must plan our defense, which usually involves escape and or calling for help. Number 2. We worry about displeasing you. Women are taught from early childhood to be pleasers, something that intensifies with the onset of that wonderful phenomenon known as puberty, mostly because we've been led to believe that there's a verifiable shortage of desirable men. Historically, that has been true, and it feels even more true to a woman who is unsure of herself to begin with. We fear that if we displease you, you'll reject or abandon us. Sometimes a woman can appear overly confident, but that actually may be her fear in disguise and can come across as she doesn't really care about me. When in doubt, just assume that she fears displeasing you. Number 3, she fears feeling devalued. For the last several years running, the most popular post on our Psychology of Men blog has been, "Why do men stonewall?" Stonewalling is withdrawing or refusing to respond to your partner. For you, it may be a response to your own confusion or feeling overwhelmed when she's upset. Or you may just try to stay calm and hope that she'll also calm down. However, when you stay calm, it feels like you're just being non-responsive to her, which only serves to make her even more anxious. The message your nonverbal behavior sends is that you simply don't care that she's upset. In reality, it's counterproductive and actually will increase her anxiety and frustration, propelling you both into the same negative cycle that you're trying so hard to avoid. It goes something like this, doesn't it? She begins a conversation with something that sounds harsh, something that feels like it came out of the blue. She's actually tapping on the door, trying to make contact with you. When you fail to respond, she assumes you didn't hear, so now she talks a little louder. Now she's knocking on the door, wondering if you're even there. Your heart races as you think, here we go again. This is not going to be good. You try even harder to remain calm, hoping that she'll settle down. You might even try talking firmly or logically to try to calm her, which only feels condescending to her. Shaming is not exactly sending her the message that she can depend on you to be there for her when she needs you. If she wasn't really angry before this, she is now. Her feelings are seriously hurt, and she's in defensive mode. She's now coming through the door with a 2-ton wrecking ball, and she's determined that you will hear her out. To you, she's in some sort of crazy rage, and you may begin to wonder if she has serious mental health issues. So you'll have a difficult time realizing that underneath her anger is a huge backlog of fear. She may have a difficult time recalling her original feelings too. However, your best bet is always that she started the whole conversation at least a little bit worried that her concerns would be totally unimportant to you, based on verifiable evidence from any stone walls you've erected previously. I have to tell you that I really do understand why you guys do this so often and so automatically. It makes total sense to me, and I do my best to educate the gals about how their emotions impact you. However, please understand what happens for her as well. Basically, when a woman is emotionally flooded and her partner shuts down during a disagreement, she's most likely to say she feels abandoned, blown off, dismissed, frustrated, isolated, lonely, pushed away, rejected, shut out, undesirable, unloved, unwanted. Well, that wasn't what you were going for, was it? You only wanted her to be reasonable, to stop making such a big issue out of whatever it was, or at least not to attack, blame, or criticize you in the process. There is hope for redirecting this scenario, and the best place to start is with bullet point number 3. You'll have to check that out in my book. It's available on Amazon, by the way. And if it happens a lot, you might want to find a good couples counselor, one who gets where you're coming from, as well as understands her position. The bottom line, without a doubt, this isn't a comprehensive explanation of all women, or even of your woman. But if you apply these basic principles in your relationship, you will see a change. Remember, she may not trust you at first. In fact, you can count on at least some skepticism. If things have been rocky for a while, she may wonder what's happening at best and may suspect you're trying to manipulate her or that you're up to no good at the worst. Just remember that a woman often worries about her physical safety as well as whether or not she is displeasing or unimportant to the man she loves. Thank you for listening to this episode of A Wise Woman's Guide to Men and Marriage. What did you think? Did the information raise more questions? Do you want to learn more? Head over to A Wise Woman's Guide for show notes and links to the resources mentioned in this episode at awisewomansguide.com.